to a new episode of the Football plus F1 show. Today we're going to talk about games from yesterday in the FA Cup and also La Liga, and also we're going to talk about Tottenham being seriously in trouble, and also we're going to review the qualifying of the Australian Grand Prix. But let's start with the football first of all. Let's start with yesterday's Premier League game. Tottenham lost 3-1 at home to Crystal Palace. Another loss for Tottenham. They are seriously in deep trouble. They were 1-0 up, however, but 2 minutes before they were 1-0 up, Ismail Sarr scored the goal for Crystal Palace, which was the son of a VAR, and the Solanke 1-1 with the goal. They went 1-0 up, and then Mickey van der Ven gets himself sent off, and Tottenham put themselves in a very difficult situation, and they can see 3 goals before half-time very quickly. I mean, this shows how Tottenham are weak, really, honestly. Like, for them to be like down to 10 men and then quickly concede 3 goals before half time is incredible. And then they could see 2 goals from Ismail Sarr, Strand Larsen. At least it didn't get worse from them in the second half. That's the only positive. But great win for Sylvester for Crystal Palace, considering they've not been in easy form recent weeks, and they've had difficulties and etc. So for them it was very important to win. Especially they've got a huge game coming up next week for the Conference League against Monaco. But yeah, very good win for Crystal Palace, and their performances have been quite good recently. I have to say, even though they've not had an easy season, winning in the Conference League, beating Wolves and Tottenham, and also playing well against Manchester United, even though when they lost the game at the end. So yeah, but for Tottenham, I mean, they deserve to. I mean, they're seriously going to get relegated at this point, honestly, because it's like this Tottenham side has no fight. They don't know how to defend. They don't know how to control the game with tempo. They don't know how to boss the midfield, and they don't know how to score. They have nothing. They have nothing. No structure defensively. No structure going forward. They look awful, absolutely awful. They're miles off it. They are absolutely miles off it. They look absolutely awful, and you look at these Tottenham players. You look at the Tottenham players, and you think like, do they really think they're in a relegation battle? Do they know that they are seriously in big trouble? Because when you look at these Tottenham players, it's almost like they treat like they're not in a relegation battle. They treat like this is like a normal game or something. No, this is big trouble, serious big trouble. And for you to be in this situation is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. So they need to get their shit together very quickly. Otherwise, they're gonna get relegated, for sure. They're gonna get relegated for sure. And there's a big, honestly, like last season they finished 17th, but the bottom 3 teams were awful. You look at Nottingham Forest and West Ham, they're giving a good fight. So West Ham, Nottingham Forest, they're playing European football. West Ham, they are giving a run for the money for the other teams as well. They can do that. They won against Fulham just recently. They're a good team. They can give anybody a good fight. Their team competes quite well. They can compete well, sorry. And Nottingham Forest, they've got quality players, and they just pulled off a good draw against Manchester City. So they need to get their shit together very quickly. Sorry to say this, but like, do they really think they're in a relegation battle with the way they're playing, with their attitude, with their commitment, with their efforts? It looks like it not. It looks like they don't think they're in a relegation battle. So it's not looking good at all. And if they keep performing like this, at this point they're gonna get relegated. So yeah, and yes, the Tottenham fans could blame the owners for the club's downfall in recent years, which is understandable. But club's downfall for many years now, because let's be honest, Tottenham don't compete with the likes of Manchester City and Arsenal because of things like this, because of the owners, and they don't spend money well, and they don't have the budget like the big clubs have, and also but there's no way this team should be in a relegation battle. No way. There's no way this caliber players with the same team won the won the Europa League last season, and they're in the Champions League knockout. They should be performing like this. There's no way. Like, how are they going to also go about it in the Champions League, where they've got Atletico Madrid twice? Are they going to rest place for the Champions League? It's a very tricky situation because the fight. When's the last time a team that has been a knockout Champions League and they're fighting for relegation at the same time? When's the last time that ever happened to any team? Not let alone top in any country. I don't remember. So yeah, it's not looking good at all for them. Now let's move on to yesterday's games. Wolves against Liverpool. Liverpool with 3-1. Yeah, the first half it wasn't easy for Liverpool, but in the second half I think they recovered very well, and you have to say they woke up, and they were much better in the second half. Salah getting a score sheet, Robertson getting a score sheet, 2 goals, and then as soon as they got that goal from Robertson, it was like, okay, they should score more after that, and then they did. Salah scored the second goal, third goal from Curtis Jones, the 74th minute. Wolves scored a consolation goal towards the end, but yeah, it was a good performance for Liverpool. They deserve to win. I think they could have scored more. And it was obviously very important for Liverpool to bounce back and win, considering they lost to Wolves during the week in the Premier League. So it was important for them to bounce back in this game and to win, and they did that. They're through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. They've got very crucial games coming up before the international break. They've got 2 Champions League games against Galatasaray. Then they've got Tottenham at home, which they should win. But then they've got Brighton away, which is not an easy game. So 4 very important games, especially for the Champions League quarterfinals qualification, and also to try to finish in the top 4, top 5 in the Premier League. So yeah, they had to win this game obviously to bounce back, especially from the loss against Wolves during the week, and they did that really well, so we have to give them credit. I thought Salah, in this game, he I won't say he was at his best, but you can clearly see he's starting to improve his performances recently. He scored against Wolves, even though they didn't have the best performance on Tuesday, but this game I thought he looked good. So. Which is very important considering after AFCON he's not been in a good run of form. So it was important for him to get back to scoring goals against Wolves in the weekend and in this game as well. So in midweek, and in this game as well. So yeah, Liverpool are through to the quarterfinals. Real Madrid with a very important win over Celta Vigo, 2-1 in the last minute goal with from Federico Valverde. It was an easy game, I have to say, for Real Madrid. I mean, they went 1-0 up with the Tuchemeni goal, but then you have to give credit to Celta Vigo. They came back and they didn't give up. 1-1 from Borja Iglesias, fantastic striker he is. 1-1, and it was tricky. I think it was a game that could have gone either way. I don't think Real Madrid were at their best, but the most important thing for Real Madrid is that they won the game, which they had to if they want to win La Liga, and also hunt down Barcelona, which they did. And then especially Celta Vigo, they've been very good this season. They are 6th in La Liga, and they managed to win it with the last minute winning goal from Federico Valverde. I felt like Real Madrid before that should have had a penalty with the handball, but despite refereeing decisions, big clubs always try to find a way to win games, and they did that really well. So it was very important for Real Madrid to win this game. Considering they've got a big game coming up against Manchester City, especially they have a couple of players injured. I mean, Mbappe most likely is going to miss the first leg. They've got other players injured. Rodrigo is out. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. Bellingham was not present for this game. They've got other players injured like Alaba, and they've so many injuries Real Madrid. So so it was very important for them to win this game, and they did that even though they're not at their best. And they've got a big game coming up, so yeah, and they're now 1 point behind Barcelona, but obviously they still have to play their game against today against Athletic Bilbao, which is not an easy game. Bayern Munich win their game 4-1 against Borussia Mönchengladbach, very comfortable for Bayern Munich, and it was very important for them to win this game, especially before their game in the Champions League against Atalanta. They extend their lead also in the Bundesliga, 14 points clear of Borussia Dortmund. PSG lose at home to Monaco 3-1. A shock defeat for PSG. Monaco take their revenge, especially after what happened between them in the Champions League in the playoffs, which gives a chance for Lens to win and to get closer to PSG, 1 point behind them. Are PSG in risk of losing the Ligue 1 title? I don't think so. I think they should win the Ligue 1 still. They're still the favourites in my opinion. However, this also indicates that they're struggling. There's still struggles this season. You know, you look at not only the Monaco game in Champions League, in this game, in the couple of games in the Champions League as well, like against Sporting Lisbon, they are struggling this season. They, like last season, they're also struggling start season, but then after that they showed signs that they can improve. They improved and they can do a great one towards winning the Champions League. Whereas this season, I don't think we've seen that much from PSG. Yeah, start season when they beat Barcelona away from home, but other than that, I don't think we've seen signs for PSG where you could say, oh, this team is 100% ready, you know, we're going to win the Champions League, guaranteed. They don't look, you know, it's not the same team as last season, that's for sure. I know they rested a couple of players in this game, especially for the game against Chelsea during the week, like Marquinhos, Dembele, you know, those important players for them. But still, you know, you still got quality players like this Aidou, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia, other good players that should beat this Monaco side, and they did it. So, yeah. However, they had their game against Nantes postponed, so they should be, you know, obviously they have 5 days before the Chelsea game, the first leg on Wednesday, so they should be well prepared. And then they have another 7 days against Chelsea, which they should be well prepared as well. So, yeah, and they got their game. By the way, they got their game against Nantes postponed in the French league, which I don't think it's fair in my opinion. I know people will say, "Oh, what are you talking about?" But I don't think it's fair for a team like PSG in the French league to have this amount of power. To say, "Oh, yeah, I know it's PSG in French league. You know, the biggest team in France right now." But like, you don't see these kind of things in the Premier League, for example. Like, yes, okay, if you don't want to play against Nantes, make them play on Saturday. What's wrong with that? What's wrong to play on Saturday? I mean, Real Madrid, I think they had, faced this kind of issues before when they had to play Wednesday, Saturday, and Tuesday. Right, not only in the Premier League, also La Liga and other leagues as well. So I don't think it's fair, but if PSG, if Nantes agree with it, so yeah. But they lost this game and they've got a big game coming up against Chelsea. Napoli 1-1 against Torino. Very important win for Napoli, especially for their Champions League qualifications. They go 9 points clear of Como, so I think they should finish third, maybe second, because they're not far away from AC Milan as well. So yeah, but good win for Antonio Conte's side. Now let's move on to Formula 1.